So, it won't be too much of a hot take for me to say that the summer 2021 season has been quite stale compared to the previous spring season. There have been some good shows like Kanojo Kanojo, Tanmoshi, and Bokutachi no Remake, but there's no real standout show this season. There are also several animes which are just flying under the radar, and today I want to talk about one of them. This anime is what I believe can be an absolute gem, but nobody seems to have quite noticed it yet, and the anime is Remain. Now, I won't sit here and preach that the anime is a masterpiece, although I believe it has everything going for it to potentially contend for the anime of the summer. To quickly summarize the plot, we follow our main character Minato, who was a water polo prodigy until an unfortunate accident befell him, and it put him to a coma for a year and a bit. The story picks up right after he recovers from the coma, and we get to know that he's lost about 3 years worth of memory due to the accident, and well, he's forgotten how to play water polo, and hell, even the people who he played with. Now, in order to make his life return to somewhat of a normalcy, for the sake of his family and a prior promise he had made, he decides to pick up water polo again in high school, and the main narrative of the show centers around Minato making his comeback with the help of his school's club and his friends. I believe the appeal of the series comes from the character interactions, as most of them seem quite unique and some are even shown to have a different background altogether. And for sports anime, this is quite vital, as without adequate character building, it can affect the overall allure of the show and make the viewers not as invested in the premise. Talking about the characters, our main character and the protagonist of the series, Minato, is a jewel of the crown. At first I thought he was a bland stoic character as seen in a lot of these types of shows where the MC has suffered a tragic past, although that's not what's showcased to us at all in the first few episodes. Minato is seen as a cheery, funny, and overall likable protagonist. He seems to have an action-oriented character and overall just looks like a fun person to follow throughout the series. In the first 2 episodes which have aired, the only character which left a somewhat of a underwhelming taste in my mouth is probably the Kohai which we were introduced to. I just felt he was a bit annoying, and he was a rare exception in an otherwise brilliant cast of characters who seem to have their own problems to get over and their own methods of tackling them. So overall, such a diverse and interesting cast leads to an amazing storytelling and purpose for each of them. Now, it's important for me to talk about why I think this anime is super underrated. One crucial thing going for this show, which can separate it into an upper echelon of other shows this season, is the different themes it conducted in the first couple of episodes, which I hope it explores more as the series goes on. In the very first episode, we see things like the main character's mother regret for getting her 2 children into a car accident, and we also see the traumatic effect it left behind in the MC's little sister. Themes like regret and coping with losses might play a prevalent portion in the anime, and I'm all for it. Another aspect of this anime which I'm extremely excited by is the sports aspect. Water polo is one of the most excruciating sports of our time. It's very difficult to play, and from the bits of the sport which was shown to us in the second episode, we can expect some high thriller games which will be a visual spectacle to see and witness. Speaking about the visuals, the art style is super smooth and the animation is quite nice as well. It's done by our favorite bearer of animator rights, Mappa, and I don't expect Mappa to flub this series in the future, so I'd expect a consistent quality output of episodes as the series goes on. So I don't think there will be a drop in animation quality or the art style going all jank in the middle of the series. Remain is set to be a 12 episode series, so I'd expect the pacing to be quite quick and fun, but based off the first 2 episodes, it seems like the anime lets the characters simmer and grow on you while it tackles the different arcs. So in terms of writing, I don't see any apparent flaws right off the bat, but it'll be fun to see how they go about fitting the whole storyline into 12 episodes and if it's popular enough to get a second season afterwards as well. As for the soundtrack and the music of the series, we got a banger of an opening and an ending, and the score of the series suits the anime quite well, but I think we'll be introduced to far better and exciting OSTs as we get more of the sports element involved in the show. So finally, to conclude, if you're looking for an underrated anime to keep up with this season, which has all the potential to go on to be the anime of the summer, well, this is for you. Remain so far seems to have nice sports, a good comedic aspect, a nice slice of life setting, and maybe, you know, just a little bit of romance in there for saucy measure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the quick rundown of this series, and I wish to see you guys in the next Remain episode discussion whenever that happens. Well, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!